Okay, welcome back to Case Closed, Anime Review Episode 127. This one, like with the case of Atlantis, supposed to yesterday, but I couldn't, well, I wasn't able to do it because I got home. It was really late by the time I finally got to this because of the other videos. Alright, this one I'm discussing episode 1015 Stakeout. Now, last week, there was not a new episode last week. I'm not really sure exactly why. I mean, there's no mention of the Olympics. I think the Olympics are over as far as I can tell. So, what could have been the reason for it? My guess, maybe Golden Week. It's possible. I'm not really sure what was the reason for it. Like, it could be maybe the anime needed a week off. It's possible. So the episode is simply this. You have Genta, Micho, and Ami spot Keba in a convenience store, buying a bunch of stuff. And they easily figured out, though, and of course Conan's with them, they find out he's on a stakeout with Takagi. Now, my biggest complaint here is this. You have an original episode featuring Detective Boys, and once again, the anime forgot about Hybra. Like, she can still do this stuff. She can participate in the anime original stuff. It seems lately that the people who make the anime keep forgetting to put her in. Like, is it because the fact that Conan's here? That's the reason why they won't include her in? Honestly, I'm not really sure what was the point of it. Yeah, I mean, the last time they actually had the group show up was just a few episodes ago. At least Ami was definitely there. Hybra. In the case of the lost oracle that smells like a case, well, nope, they did not show up there. It just seems as though lately they just keep forgetting to put her in. Like, here's one of you. Well, I would say the last anime original episode she appeared in was episode 1002. The Seth of Legends of the Scarlet Bullet film. Mm-hmm. Which I have not seen this film yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, it came out back in February. And that was her last known official and original appearance. But you have these group appear here okay, so you have them show up for a candy case, and then you have to show up here. Like, it's like the writers don't want to put in Hybra for some reason. That or the fact they want to have two people scolding the main three every time these three show up. So they follow Keba to it, basically a recently built building. It's not technically finished, but one of the apartments basically is feasible enough to basically use. Now, they're watching his apartment building because it's explained by Takagi there was a serial robber who was arrested, and also the fact it was a jewelry store robbery. They're looking for a jewelry store thief. And this serial robber basically stole stuff from these three apartments. And some of these jewels are actually from the jewelry store robbery. And there were these three people who were suspicious of it. We have a guy in an apartment building who basically walked around in a bathrobe. We have a guy who basically is described as a salary man. Basically, he's a manager at a trading company. Well, he looks very suspiciously outside. And you have this woman. Yes, a single woman. Which Ami obviously points out, though, she is a yoga instructor due to the fact she's doing yoga. Okay, fine. Oh, yeah, by the way, the first guy, they had no information about him aside from his name. I mean, based on what he does, he's probably a writer. Yes. And basically, after watching their apartments for a while, we see that the woman gets a visitor. And they do not know who this guy is. It looks like they suspect it might be the boyfriend. And then, of course, the other three, this son comes with a very dumb idea. Go to the three suspicious apartments by having each one of them throw objects into their balconies to get their attention. You have Genta go into the first one. The second one, you have Micha go, and then Ami go with the third one. Ganta, of course, goes to the apartment, and it turns out he's actually not the guy they're looking for. Mitchell, basically, his was quite interesting. Basically, the reason why the guy is so suspicious of why he goes outside, looks outside cautiously, and looks at his balcony. The reason why he does that because his bird ran away. Yep, that's the reason for it. His bird slipped away, and that's the reason why he acts that way. The other one seems like very hunky-dory. Like, there's his, of course, Ami stuff. Ammo got thrown into this, like... Apparently, these 3 kids got really good throwing arms to throw 3 stories up. Like, wow, okay. And, of course, to communicate thanks to their Detective Boys badges. And she's about to leave with her stuff, ammo, everything. Everything so hunky-dory with this third one, too. And then she trips on the carpet. And her badge slips out. And they suspect that she's a detective. A little girl, a detective, because she's got a communication badge, which is the Detective Boys badge, which they decide to dump in water and briefly hold her hostage. Takagi, being the reasonable person he is, races over to the apartment and tries to arrest him. But the guy himself decides to do something really stupid. He decides to nearly throw Ami off the frickin' balcony. Lucky enough, Conan decided to use his instant soccer ball and his power shoes in order to knock the guy out and have Keba catch Ami, and of course the woman be arrested on the spot for jewelry. And apparently off screen, those 2 were scolded, and despite the fact that they decided to help out again with another stakeout, like did you listen before? Also, for the credits and get to the credits, like, the bird comes back. Yep, the bird comes back and it talks. It says, "I'm home," and this little, it looks like a parrot, like a white parrot. That's what it looks like. And well, that's the episode. The episode itself is okay. It's not terrible per se. I do like the animation for it. Now, aside from the animation and some good, I think the middle guy was probably the most interesting one. In the case of basically some of the other stuff, my biggest negative is Hybra's absence. There is no reason why she couldn't be in this episode. Yeah, I mean, what? Did the animators feel as though she should not be in this one because they're saving her for the next Kennen case? It's possible, to say at least, because she's technically going to appear in the next one. Oh, yeah. Appears in 2 straight Kennen cases in a row. Yeah. But as for when in the world that's going to be, I don't know. It's kind of weird, to say the least. Yes. I'm not really sure exactly why, per se. It's just that she does. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Yes, it'll be shorter than a lot of my other ones. Yeah, the next one and the final video for today will be Boruto. Okay, next video. Bye.